Well, it's me again, the Rock Doctor, coming at you live with yet another installment of Rock Guitar 101. This series is on expanding the fingerboard. And what I did today was a series of two-measure phrases. I call them motifs. And I was utilizing several of the E minor / G major scale shapes. There are 7 of those. As you may know, there are 7 notes in the scale, and there's one little position for each one where one of the notes of the scale is the low note. Okay, let's talk about, just for a second, what's a motif? What are you talking about? Well, in this case, it was a 2-bar phrase again, and I was playing to the chords as they went by, as each chord went by, I played a lick that started on the root note of the chord underneath and ended on the root note of the chord underneath. And by motif, what I mean is each one of these little licks basically structurally did the same thing as far as how it ascended, how it descended, the note that it started, that it ended on. All those things were kept the same as far as the structure of it, you know. So in the first instance, the first chord in the backing track, and it's my backing track, my G major / E minor backing track, and I've looped the E minor section. And the first section was 2 measures of E minor. So here's the lick. Let me crunch up. One more time, I kind of goofed it. And let me walk you through it, and then I'll talk about it for a sec. Okay, I started on the D string 14th fret, that's the E note, and I played 8th notes. This is real simple stuff. We're not talking about, you know, rocket science here. But I started on the 14th fret of the D. Then I went up to the G string, and I continued right through the scale in this position. So it's an exercise in learning the scale shapes in a way that's not boring. That's what this is about. All right, so from the 14th fret D string there, E note, I went to the G and I played 11, 12, and 14. Then I went down to the B string and played 12. And I came back down to the G string and played 14, 12, 11. Then I ended on the root note again, but I went up an octave from where I started. That's the 15th fret of the B string, the D note, been up to an E. So you got this. And now if I counted it for you, listen. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. They all did that. Now, the second chord in the progression is 2 measures of A minor. So what I did was I moved back and found a position where the A note was also on the D string. In fact, that was the whole gist of this. The starting note's on the D string every time. I forced myself to do something to keep myself from going nuts when I was learning these shapes. I was just playing them, you know, up and down, back and forth every day. That's great, but it's not music, and it'll drive you nuts. So, for the A chord, I did this. I found the A note on the D string, and I played that same motif. So fingering wise, here's what I did. On the D string, I played 7, 8, 9. Then I went over to the G string and played 7 and 9, back to 7. Then I went back to the D and played 10 and 9. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and see. Now I want to find an A, an octave up from where I started. I used the B string 9 and bend it up a half step. Where is it? Like that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Well, the next chord in the progression was C. And it was also 2 measures long, so I stayed on the D string and found a C note. Turns out to be on the D string 10th fret. And I played this, and again, the notes that I'm choosing are from the G major / E minor scale in each of these little positions. So you have to know them before you can do this, but this is a good way to reinforce what you know. Okay? Okay, here it is. Or what did I do there? I started on the D string 10, the C note, and played 10, 12. Then I went to the G string and I played 9, 11, 12. Stay there and played 11, 9. Then I went back to the D string 12. And I finished up on the B string up 12, and I bent up a half step and got a C note. Okay, now the last lick, I'm really covering two chords there. The first chord lasts for one measure, it's C. Or I'm sorry, the first chord is B minor, and then it progresses on to D, I believe. And here's what I did. I went to the D string and found a B note, which is 9. Then I went over to the G, and I played 5, 7, 9. Then I went to the B string, and I played 7. Back to the G, I played 9, 7, 5. And this time I just went to I ended up on a D note, which is the root note for the second chord in the 2-bar phrase, which is 7. So here's the whole thing: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. I played through that twice. So this is a means of learning the scale shapes in a kind of a creative musical way, even though it's the same lick structurally. That will help you and prevent you from getting bored. Now, let me go to the dry erase board for a sec. Take a look at this. Look. Here's the big giant fingerboard chart with all the notes to the E minor / G major scale, which is G major is G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. And I just labeled all those on there and I circled them so you can see them. But it's a big mess. There's no way to learn that when you have that much. It looks like a big giant rectangular pizza with a million red pepperonis on it. What are you going to do with that, right? So again, I divided it up the same as I did with the pentatonic. And after I divided it up, you can see what I've got. Look, I've got 7 distinct fingerings that cover the entire fingerboard. They're all the same scale. They're all just the same notes from the G major / E minor scale. So what I'll do in this video is I'll give you a link for the backing track so you can try this yourself. And I'll also put up, I've got some nice, neat, made on the computer grids with these scale shapes in them, and I'll put those up as I do this next part. So I'm going to play through these. I'll start with number 1. The reason I'm starting with number 1 is because, well, for me, way back when, I knew this first. I knew how to use the pentatonic first in the 12th position for E. And through my monthly reading of Guitar Player magazine back in the 70s from cover to cover, especially the players in the back, the pros that talk about this, that, and the other, I found an article that didn't really say much other than that scale, which is E minor pentatonic or G major pentatonic, was actually a simplification of this big son of a bitch. And it has its applications. I wouldn't use that stuff in blues, though. People would start throwing beer bottles at you because it's a different sound. But in many other instances, both scales and the licks that are derived from them are useful. So fingering wise, here's what I had there. And there's 3 notes on a string. Some of them are kind of hinky, but I like it. It's useful. All right. So look at this. This is scale number 1. I'm starting on an E note. And here are the notes. On the low E, I've got 12, 14, 15. Same thing on the A, 12, 14, 15. On the D, I've got 12, 14, and 16. Same thing on the G. When I get to the B, it's 13, 15, and 17, but it's that big stretch again, look. And to finish it up, I've got 14, 15, and 17 on the high string. And again, when you're learning this, you can learn all these pretty quickly if you warm up with them, just going up and back for just a few minutes every day. You can learn them, but then you've got to go beyond that so you create music with them. So that's what this little video is about. This one you need to get. All right, let's go to the second scale pattern. I call it number 2. That's it. This time I start on the D note on the low E. So here we have it. So on the low E, I played 10, 12, 14. On the A string, I did the same thing. On the D string, also the same, 10, 12, 14. On the G string, I played 11, 12, 14. And then to get the last 2 strings, the way I do it, with 3 notes on a string, I shift my hand up 1 fret. And I'm going to play On the B, 12, 13, 15. On the high E, 12, 14, 15. There you go. Okay. Scale number 3. This time the low note is on the 8th fret of the E string. That's the C note. And here's what I've got. On the low E, I'm going to play 8, 10, 12, C, D, E. On the A string, it's 9, 10, 12. Same thing on the D string, 9, 10, 12. On the G, it's 9, 11, 12. On the B string, it's 10, 12, 13. And then the last string, is 10, 12, and 14. There you go. All right, scale number 4. 7th position, the low note's B. Here it is. All right, so on the on the low E string, I have 7, 8, 10. On the A string, 7, 9, 10. On the D string, 7, 9, 10. Uh-oh. When I get to the G string, it's 7, 9, 11. Then I shift up to get the last little bit. On the B string, it's 8, 10, 12. And then on the high E string, also 8, 10, 12. Only a couple left, boys and girls. All right, now I'm in the 5th position. This guy, the low note's the 5th fret of the low E. That's an A note. And here's the fingering. On the low E, I've got 5, 7, 8. On the A string, it's 5, 7, 9. On the D string, 5, 7, 9. On the G string, 5, 7, 9. In fact, what you'll notice about this if you start working on it is you will frequently find somewhere in the position of whatever scale, whichever shape you have, those 3 big stretches together. Like that. Anyway, back to the movie. So let me start over again. So on the A string, 5, 7, 8. I mean on the D string, 5, 7, 8, sorry. On the A string, 5, 7, 9. D string, 5, 7, 9. G string, 5, 7, 9. And this one sucks, but here it is, but it's part of what I do. I move up 2 frets now to get the rest of it, and I'm going to play on the B string, I'm going to play 7, 8, 10. And then on the high string, 7, 8, 10. Alright, couple left. Now I'm doing scale number 6, I call it, 3rd position. Low note is a G note on the low E string, and the frets are 3, 5, 7. On the A string, same thing, 3, 5, 7. On the D string, 4, 5, 7. On the G, also 4, 5, 7. Then I shift up 1 fret to get the rest. I'm on the B string now, 5, 7, 8. High E, 5, 7, 8. And finally, the last one in the 2nd position, number 7. The low note is the 2nd fret, that's F sharp. Here's what I've got. On the low E string, I have 2, 3, 5. On the on the A string, same thing, 2, 3, 5. On the D string, I have 2, 4, 5. On the G string, same thing, 2, 4, 5. Then I shift up a fret and get this stretchy shit. On the B string, it's 3, 5, 7. On the high E, same thing, 3, 5, 7. There you go. So those motifs are a more creative musical way to kind of sneak these things into your psyche, into your being, into your ears and your fingers. And that's just one way to do it. That's how I did it anyway. I had to do something that just went beyond just running the scale up and down, you know. Although that's okay, but it's really not music. So before I go, let me do that. Let me turn this track back on. Let me just noodle some shapes mindlessly. It'll sound okay, but it's not music, as you can see. So you don't want to get stuck doing just this. Alright, let me start right here. As long as I play 8 notes, it'll sound okay, but you have to learn how to phrase. You don't stop. It's not natural. See? can't keep going though. You get my drift. So just noodling will work, but I have a tendency to not want to just mindlessly keep the scale pedaling, and I want to stop on some of the chords that I'm hearing, and that's a natural thing I think over time. You could shoot for that as well, and it's like it's bungee jumping with scale tones. You're kind of pedaling around, and you want to stop somewhere based on what you're hearing, and you're hoping you hit a chord tone. And if you don't worry about it. That's part of the process. But the more you do it, the better you get at it. But you really should have a rhyme and a reason and not just mindlessly play something. You've got to at least hear where you're going with your notes. But if you continue to do this, you'll get there. So there's the gist of it. All right. So it's me, the Rock Doctor. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, order me a pizza, find me a hot chick bass player, and whatever. I love you. I'm out of here. Bye.